Greetings and welcome to Ale Abbey, a new cute medieval management game where you brew ale with the help of monks and nuns, research recipes, build your own monastery, interact with the locals and pay off bandits, haggle with towns for the best price, and help your bishop for the ultimate divine brew. This is a sponsored video by Shiro Unlimited and the game is available starting February 18th, so I'd like to show you hands-on gameplay. Don't forget to check out the link in the video description to learn more about it. Okay, here we are now in our abbey, a beautiful little smaller, well, church we have, or monastery we have. We have, well, in front of us, a little market, a bishop that, well, wants something from us, and we got two people that are working for us right now, a monk and a nun, and both of them are eager to brew the best beer in the world. Let's go ahead and have a look what the bishop says. Finally made it, never thought they'd need a bishop all the way up here. Well, hello, I usually avoid fanfare, but it's always nice to have a welcoming committee. Now let's skip the small talk, I'm here to make sure the clergy is handled and our local interests are kept in check. And for this, he wants me to start building stuff now, and we're going ahead right away. We got a room over here, and we got a room over here. And the cool thing is about this game, we can really expand in all directions, even into the ground. We have 1,500 coin right now, florins it's called. My fame level is 1. This is something we want to get up, and my comfort rating is 0. That's also not so great. We have one card that we can use to sell our ale to the markets. And with that, we can basically start our business now and hopefully become profitable eventually. Let's go ahead and open up the first room here, the library that we have open. We have exactly one item we can place right now. We can unlock a whole lot more down the road, but the recipe desk is the very first one. Let's place one. And in the recipe desk, we can now create our very first recipe. That is our very first brew that we can have. The light ale is the only option for beginners. We can unlock a whole bunch more, don't worry about that. The light ale though is my starting recipe. This one, it's not that great. The quality range is between 0 and 10 and it only needs pale malt and standard yeast that we can use here. Next in line, we need to balance the ingredients. That's a pretty tricky business, so we can add pale malt and standard yeast. Both of them have different options, right? The pale malt, for example, is increasing the flavor, it's increasing the strength of the ale, and it's increasing the foam and the color. It's basically an increase for everything. On the other hand, we got the standard yeast that is reducing, for example, the strength and the foam. Right, so we want to stabilize this one to get into a good color here, good green range. That indicates me that this is going to be a tasty one at least. Doesn't mean that it's a good quality yet, right? It's just a tasty one, a balanced one. So let's just have a look. With this, we are now green with 3 of them. If I add one more yeast, we are now totally green. Perhaps I can still do something. Yeah, now I'm making it to sour again. So 4 pale malt and 2 standard yeast looks like a good balance overall that we can make this work. Let's accept this one. We can now say who should be the fermentine for this brew. And with Era, we have a quality range of 3, whereas with Guillemmus, oh, that's a name, we only have a quality level of 2. So, of course, Era is going to be my fermentine for this. Next in line, we still need to give it a name. Bold Classic, we might call it. That's my first recipe. Okay, so this is gonna take a while. Now we can finally unpause the game. So Era is now going to work that. She's not really happy because she does have no place to sleep at the moment. She shouldn't be so entitled. There you go. With that, we have created our very first recipe. We also should not forget to get the rewards from the bishop. That's 120 florins. This money is gonna keep us afloat. These quests here. This is not the tutorial, by the way, so if you want to play the game for the first time yourself, there's also a nice tutorial that shows you the controls and stuff like that. This is basically our main story that we're following along. Now the bishop also wants to build me a dormitory and a bunk bed, so we are going ahead now and start building us the first rooms. Dormitory it is, and it's probably a good bet to have it over here together with the refectory that we also want to have. These are being built now by independent contractors, so it's not the nun that has to build it. For this night, however, she has to sleep, unfortunately, here in the ground. On the ground. There you go. So with that, we finish it. We also need something where we can brew. That's on the other side then. Let's go ahead and build us a bed. A standard bed should do for 2. Right, so they can sleep here and finally don't have to sleep on the ground any longer. Next in line, let's go over here to our brewery, because here we can now start the brewing process. That is with a basic brewing stove, and that is also with a basic fermenter over there. And in here, we can now start our new brew. That is the recipe that we created, the bold classic light ale. Era should probably do it, but what I can see already, the Guglielmus is actually a bit better at it for now. Time-wise, they both take the same. But with him, we get a better quality out of it. At least for now. So I should probably go ahead with him. And we're going to choose the quantity. So depending on how much we brew, of course, it costs me. Let's go all the way up here to 100 liters. And with that, we consume now pale malt and standard yeast. This will cost me 160 florins. As you can see, we are dropping pretty hard on that already. Let's pay it. Now, paying this means that on the market, we are buying those resources. They're being brought over now by a little helper. He looks handsome. And he's now bringing it in. And with that, Guglielmo, he can now start brewing our first ale. After finishing the cooking, we are now fermenting. So for this basic one, we have 2 steps basically involved. And on the very next day, we finished the Bold Classic, 100 liters we have produced. We can see the quality is at 5. It's not really great. And this one we can now sell at the next local market. Now we can unlock a whole bunch of them. For now, we only have Hopfendorf all the way down here. There is a pretty high demand for ale and low quality ale. We cannot demand that much money on it, right? It's 21 florins. If I go to 22, the sale price already affects then the happiness, the appeal of it, and we want to sell this as quickly as possible. So let's start selling it. My little helpers bring it over now to the cart, and then we deliver it to the next village, Hopfendorf. It is. Let's also take the florins, and we also get a fame point. Thank you very much, Bishop. Next up, we should install our refectory where my staff can eat something. So that's all the way over here. Let's go ahead and get us a cooking stove once again and a dining table. This is where we can then also have our staff eat. We also get a cook with that. It's not the nun nor the monk. Right, so things getting a bit more complicated now because you also want to sleep somewhere. So I'm also going to have another batch of beds over here. There you go. Now, we have delivered the ale to Hopfendorf. It's being sold over there right now, and then we should get some money in from that. Also, we get some money from the bishop again. Thank you very much for that. Another day is coming to an end. April 7th, we got some money that we sold on the market. 700 florins now. Next in line, we should start researching. The game also has an extensive research system. So with that, we need to build a laboratory now and somewhere where we can research. So let's go ahead. It will be tight on my money. There it is. 250 coin it costs me. It's another room. I don't have stairs yet, so I can only place it left and right. Let's go ahead and expand. After finishing it, we can also give it a desk where my monk or my nun can research. And now we can start with a researcher. And yeah, she is way better at this. She produced twice as much as Guglielmus, so that's the research points. And we can assign her to this task. So she's basically over there now all day researching for us. Not particularly happy about the sleeping situation, it seems. I should continue with brewing, so I'm just going to take my same recipe again. The more often he goes for this, the better he becomes at it, the more proficient he becomes, right? So he should definitely train his craft, hone his craft, whereas my nun continues with the researching. They also have the normal day and life cycle. So right now they're sleeping again. It's getting a bit dirty over here, so we should also do something about that. At some point we have enough research points, so I can now finally start with that. Monastery phase 1 we are, and here we do have now the monastery maintenance. This will unlock me a locker that I can use to clear the rooms, or to clean the rooms. Okay. Let's have it a bit central perhaps. No, we could have it in the refectory, right? And down here we have no general furniture and the maintenance locker it is. Let's add this one. And with this one, we now have the broom down here available that I can now use to, for now, manually clean those rooms. It's a magic broom, by the way. There you go. You don't know what happens when there's enough alcohol flowing. Let's finish the quest once again. To get us something else, we now need to research the cellar, where we can store lager that cools the temps, long-term storage, and we can also use it for our own consumption then, because my staff is way happier when they also have something to drink. Okay, we finished the next beer. Let's get this one over, and yeah, 21 coin it is again. And let's sell it. The next Bold Classic actually had a bit of a better quality, so quality 10. With that we can demand also higher price. So this is pretty important, of course. We can make more money out of that. Okay, we have 24 research points. And there it is, 26 as well. And let's go ahead with the cellar. Cost me 25. It unlocks the cellar, a new building, but also a bunch of other things that we can now build. One of them is finally the staircase. So this unlocks me now a lower level. I can also go up. But for now, let's go down. Building that, and this will then also make it possible for us to have the cellar. Boy, we're very low on money. We need to brew more beer. There it is. Staircase has been finished. And there we have the cellar for the 350 that it costs. And once this has been finished, we can now add a barrel, where we can finally start storing some ale for us. Thank you very much for the money. Also, we get another quest, your maltiness. We've caught Tiny Hopfendorf's attention, alright. A smaller market certainly, but we could fatten their orders, bringing them new ale style. Something light, easy to drink, and affordable. A blonde ale perhaps. And we shall unlock the blonde ale now. Create a recipe with at least 2 virtues in the yellow range. Okay, also the bishop comes in, getting a bit busy now, right? And he wants me now to store ale in that and mark it as a drinkable for my own staff. This is going to be expensive though, because for this we will need to make 2 batches of ale. One for ourselves and one that we can sell. We still need to make more money as well. Go ahead and start brewing. My second brew I'm going to store in the cellar. It's also not really got the best quality, so the higher quality I would like to sell. The lower quality we're just bringing down here ourselves. There it is, and we can now select it here for drinking. There you go. Now my staff can drink that, as long as they're not getting too drunk, hopefully. And let's also turn in the quest, and this also increases the satisfaction of my staff. Okay, my next brew we can already create now, a recipe with 2 in the yellow range, right? So 2 in the green and 2 are in the yellow ones. That's the strength and the flavor. And we're just going to have Guglielmo's on this again. He's already a bit, you know, good in his craft. And we're going to call it the Bold Classic Plus, because it has more strength in it. After finishing it, we can now start the brewing process of the Bold Classic Plus. Costs me a bit more to produce because it has more ingredients. At the same time, we have 39 research points, so we can continue with the next researches. We should look into furnishing now, and that would be a small painting. That would be a globe. The boundless known world, as others have experienced it. We can also go with the flower vase. There you go. And then the locker on top of everything else. This also gives me some satisfaction. Go ahead and get all of this. And now we can add these. For example, the locker. Very important. Personal, storage for my stuff. And then also some decorations. A flower vase here or there. It's pretty expensive, so we should be careful with how many of these we place. Each one of them increases my comfort rating. Right, so we're at 9% now. The more I have, the more comfortable my staff feels. And the more productive they are. The brewing process continues. There's also an order coming in. Let's have a look at this. 50 liters of a light ale for the Grand Market at Hopfendorf are being ordered. We do get an extra reward out of that. We can negotiate a better price, but for now, let's accept it. The potential profit is from 45 to 85. So this is an additional quest that we can do. We'll get 3 orders up right now that we need to tackle. There's the first one now. With that, we have finished our blonde ale, more or less. So this is a new recipe we're getting. And now we have the Bold Classic Plus. Let's have a look at its quality. It's the number 1 that we've produced. It's a quality of 13, which is acceptable. So it's not that bad. And what we can do now is we can send this one here to the quest. There you go. And we still have 50 liters left that we can also sell at the normal price of 25. So there's 2 orders now being fulfilled. And that's lots of money coming in for us. Off goes the cart. We can now also start with the blonde ale over here as my latest recipe. An amazingly clear, clean and crisp ale that makes any summer day all the more bearable. It also needs Groot as a new resource or ingredient. So let's start with the pale malt again to get some parameters up. And then also the Groot. This one we can use to increase the flavor. And we do need to add quite a bit of that. And the color though is suffering right now. I wonder why. This one's way more difficult to balance now, right? So depending on what I take, we reduce parameters of another kind. So I cannot get that much Groot in because it reduces my color. So I need to balance this carefully. Every single one of them adds more flavor, no props, but it also reduces the color and we can't afford that. So I'm gonna have the pale mold again. That increases my color. And yeah, this doesn't look so bad. We have a rather balanced area here. I can go ahead now and get this one. So yeah, Guglielmo's, you're working on that again. So it's still my basic staff basically, right? But we should be able to do it. And this is the classic blonde. So we're still working on the basics here. Very good, we have it. And now I can start brewing it. Let's just see how expensive that's gonna be. Oh yes, 257 coin we need to pay for this. I hope it pays off. I'm continuing adding more decorations like the globe. We can have the globe 2 times there. Even though it's quite expensive. Over here, probably we have the flower, we got the locker. We should have some more candles. Also increases comfort rating. There's one, there's one. There is a candle missing. A painting of our honorable nun. And our classic blonde we can now sell for 26. That's probably not gonna be a profit. That's not enough money. Now, since it's a bit tedious to always click on new brew, we can also now research something new. And that is the quick review. This unlocks me a new ability that we can use. And here I can now always just go for classic blonde right away. Click on that and we brew this one right away. The last one that we had. With increased fame, we're also getting new stuff that we can potentially hire. So we would have candidates, and there's Daniel and August. Depending on who I take, we of course have to also pay a fee. Right now though, I think we're happy with 2 as long as I don't have more equipment. By the way, negotiating new prices is also pretty nice, so we can get the price up quite a bit actually. 21% increase, and they would still accept this proposal. Oh, no, they're not happy. What? The chance of success was high. Alrighty. I shouldn't be so confident about that. Just like clockwork, you give the people enough of the lighter stuff and they quickly come begging for something darker. Nothing wrong with that, your maltiness. I believe finding a way to craft an old ale would definitely help. And he wants me now to have a recipe with the flavor in the orange. Well, everything else is green, and also that we have at least 4 staff. And with that we get the old ale as a new recipe. Since we have quite a bit of research, we could also go in here and say that, for example, doubles the monthly experience gains of your monks and nuns. This sounds like a very good thing. So let's unlock this. Passive trees that we have reduces the ale infection and reduces the boiling phase of brewing by 1 day. That's also like a very good thing to make ale more quickly. Next haggle was successful, and now we have a very profitable, lucrative quest that we should do with a blonde ale. Okay, adding a few more flowers did the trick, and we also finished the quest for increasing comfort rating to 31. Get a bit more fame, satisfaction, and also more money. Another quest comes in, or another, well, order, and that is for light ale. Quality needs to be at 9 minimum, so that seems pretty high already. Is there a penalty on this? I don't think so, so we're going to negotiate the price here once again. Let's go with almost guaranteed. Oh, high. With high. Yeah, very good. They did it. And with that, I just need to create something exciting. My bold classic plus again. Yep. He's already pretty good at this. Something else we can unlock now is creative pairings. Unlocks the possibility to add ingredients to a recipe outside of a style. Now, Malakia, I would like to hire now as my next one. Because he seems to be a bit better than Guglielmo, who we have. With 2 staff, I could also think about expanding my brewing capacity. For this, I think we do need another brewery, though. So, another room that I can add. And he's already pretty good at that, because the quality of 15 of the blonde is a new, record. And with that, we can also finish the quest that we had, and even sell a bit for 26, which is also a nice profit. Bandits stole 5 liters of blonde destined for Hopfendorf. Guess there is nothing I can do about that for now. Next up, we have decorations that actually improve the efficiency. So with that, we have the brewery for the hops bucket, for example, that gives me an ale quality increase while also increasing comfort and happiness. So let's go ahead with this. We will also have then something like for the library as well, the pile of books that increases then the maximum quality of the recipe that we are researching. Pretty interesting. And for my economy, we could also go ahead then with display the profit predictions for every brew based on the actual markets, because there's market trends as well that affect the price that we get out of a brew. Okay, and finally the bandit boss also manages to contact us. And you could say we're purveyors of services. We witnessed your arrival and, as luck would have it, know what you've been brewing. We can guarantee the safe passage of supplies and ale moving back and forth between nearby towns for a small donation of coin. So with this, we can now say that, we want to pay him. And depending on how much we pay him, the delivery is safe in town. Otherwise, we're losing like 5 to 10 liters right now for every delivery that we have. Let's start paying him like 40 coin. We can do this, and with that we have a good standing with him at the moment. And the bandits have temporarily loaned you 2 extra laymen on top of that. Nice. There they are. With the stuff we have, we can now have also more people researching at the same time. So he wants me to have at least 4. We have 3 already, so it can't be that bad to have yet another one. With that, we produce way more research points than before. I could find me someone that is good with researching, but we only have one, Boudicia. She's available right now, and she doesn't seem to be so bad. I mean, holy cow. She's got a good intellect, she's very fast, and she's got a very high contentment rating. Let's hire her. That we have 4 people now working in our monastery. And I think she might be better suited at this, right? Yes, 2 every 16 hours. Instead of the other one. He's better with brewing, I guess. Oh no, my standing with the bandits also decreased, so we need to pay more again. I guess another 40. This is really expensive. But of course, we want to ensure the security and safety. With enough research points, we can also say now enables the automatic barrel storing of freshly brewed ale. 40, and with that, we also unlock now the 3rd tier here. That gives me a whole new bunch of options like the Brewery of Bandits with ale instead of Florence. We could also have now another maintenance area. Okay, botanical experience. Learn how to treat aromatic herbs to be used in the brewing process. Oh, that's another level of recipes, and another brewery we can have. This is pretty neat. 170 research points that we need for that, and then we can basically double our research, our production of ale. So that would be another nice expansion. So this is Ale Abbey, a pretty fantastic game that adds more and more features the longer you play, and yeah, even always a new layer of complexity as well. That is pretty neat. Also with those beautiful graphics, loving that. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to check out the link in the description. Stay tuned.